Let's see here. For your challenge, Cancer, in November, what I'm hearing from my guides is harsh words lead to a new beginning. So whether it's you giving the harsh words or someone else saying the harsh words, I have a Knight of Swords coming up in the reverse in the challenge position. So I feel like this is someone that you know, because again, this is normally an air sign, swords. This is an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra male. He's presenting as a knight. So this could be your son. This could be a younger brother, a younger person, preteen, teenager is normally what, what the ages would be, maybe early 20s. It can also be a male who's just acting very immature. So maybe this is an older man going through a midlife crisis, and he's presenting as a Knight of Swords. And it won't be a man for all of you. This could just as easily be an air sign woman or somebody with air sign rising. But it's somebody with those traits, and who in the reverse speaks before thinking. In the reverse, swords people use their words as swords, so they can say very hurtful things. And Cancer, maybe a lot of you have a rising sign that is air. Or, and maybe this is you. Maybe you said something to hurt someone and they tell you, what you said really hurt my feelings. So, it may be a challenge to kind of move forward, but I feel like you can do that in November. So I think something's going to be resolved for you, Cancer, and it will take some work. It will take either forgiveness on your part or for someone else, forgiving you. Whoever does the forgiving, though, I feel like by the end of November, a relationship, there can be a new beginning here, a new understanding. That's the challenge of the month of November, but it is possible. A challenge is just something to be met. It's just, one more thing to overcome. So, yeah, and it was a heavier energy for everyone. No sign was really exempt except Gemini. Maybe this is a Gemini going around, just all, I don't know why everybody's so, down the dumps. I'm having a great month, whatever. So maybe in their carefreeness, they said something that was insensitive or something. But, this could be something that happened in October during that eclipse energy or during that heavier energy or even earlier. And now you're kind of trying to put the pieces back together, in November, Cancer. But I do see joy and fulfillment resulting from that, from your dealings with younger people. Some of you may be helping younger people. Maybe some of you, maybe that's your work. You work with young people. Maybe you're a guidance counselor or a therapist, and maybe you're a teacher and you're dealing with a difficult male in class or somebody who is just causing some problems, but you find a new way forward. Whatever the issue is, you find a way to deal with it in November, Cancer. And it's not going to completely cure this person of their immaturity or their issues, but it is going to be a step in the right direction. And you're going to see progress in whatever relationship this is. And it has to do with you, Cancer, not tolerating certain behaviors anymore. So, whether this is your spouse, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, because again, they're presenting as males, but they can just as easily be females. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, it comes down to you, Cancer, saying, if you're going to behave like that, you can go to your room, or you can go to the principal, or or I'm not going to meet with you anymore because we're not, you're not taking my advice. You're not listening to what I'm saying. You're not following the regimen. You're not taking your medication, whatever role that you're in, Cancer, and advising this person. Because I feel like you're trying to help this person, but they're just, don't want to be hearing it. and you're kind of having to take a lot of abuse from this person, and it may be verbal abuse, but it is, you know, just irritating. For some of you, this may be messages on the internet, somebody acting immature on the internet, because again, swords can sometimes be that, especially in the reverse, can be some internet drama. But Cancer, their advice to you is that you delay before responding to any messages in November. Give yourself time to think things through. In the heat of the moment, you may be like, oh, I just want to type this out, or I just want to say this, or maybe you do say something, but then you get home and you're like, oh, I should have said this, and you like fire off a text message. But they're saying, you know, sleep on it. Always sleep on it. Ask for guidance from your spirit guides if you're you know, just so angry, but you want to handle it, or maybe you have to handle it in a certain way. Maybe you can't say what you want. Again, if you're a therapist or a teacher, you can't always just kind of come out with it. You'll end up on the news or in trouble, you know. So yeah, ask for guidance from your guides. And while it may not completely fix the problem, there will be a solution that will make you pretty joyful. Some of you may be, you're dealing with, some of you may be dealing with a very sensitive younger person. And I think the thing is, Cancer, if that's how this is working, you don't realize how much you're helping this person because they don't express that. But I think maybe that's what this joyful message is that, you know, this person's in a bad place, but they will let you know. You'll see the fruits of your labors somehow in November, Cancer, especially if you're working with children. You know, or maybe it's your own child who will just be, you know, express their appreciation or apologize maybe for their bad behavior. I think a lot of you will be dealing with somebody who has low self-esteem issues. You know, and they need help with that maybe. Maybe they didn't want to admit it before, but maybe through your help and guidance, they're able to finally face up to that. Maybe it's you, Cancer, that has that. And, you know, maybe you talk to somebody about it. You seek counsel, you seek guidance, or see a therapist about it, you know, or start reading books about it, how to build up your self-esteem. And you make some progress in November. So, you know, healthy self-esteem is so important. It affects us in every decision that we make, in the things that we pursue, in the relationships that we get into. So it's very important if you have a low self-image to definitely look to improve that or find tools to improve that, because, you know, we should all be proud of who we are. Nobody is any less special than anyone else. So just keep that in mind, Cancer, in November, if you've been struggling with that. I feel like if you were to seek help with that, you know, you would be very happy with the results. Help that's going to be available to you. I do feel like something that can't be left behind will be dealt with. So again, I feel like for some of you, this may have to do with low self-esteem, addiction issues. Maybe you have an imbalance. Maybe there's a bipolar disorder that needs attention. And it doesn't have to be you. It could be somebody else that you are dealing with. Maybe, again, going back to this younger person or somebody who acts very immature due to an addiction issue or a mental health issue. If there's a huge, like, episode regarding this or an issue, a big issue that seems negative when it happens, it is a catalyst for things to change in November. It's like this thing, whatever it is, has to happen, Cancer, for this person to realize I need help with this, or for you to realize I need help with this. So Cancer, I you know, anything that comes out that you were trying to hide in November, it's going to better your life in some way, even though you may not see it immediately in November. Same thing if it applies to someone else. They may not see it. They may be like, oh my God, I was trying so hard to hide that I'm addicted to painkillers, or that I'm addicted to, cocaine, or, you know, or I'm an alcoholic, you know, or I was trying so hard to hide that, I have these severe mood swings. But somebody finds out and they finally get help. So it's very important that this happened, because I think that the road past this, whatever this issue is that reveals this to other people, that road would be very dangerous. So it's necessary that whatever happens in November happen. So what can't be changed, or what has to be accepted about November, Cancer, is that someone connected with your family. So this is, she's presenting as a Queen of Rods in reverse. So that's normally, does not have to be a female, but that is how she's presenting. Could also be a male. Normally a fire sign, Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. And in the reverse, she can be a bit of a troublemaker. This is somebody who's very good at ideas, but not so good on seeing them through. And she's coming up around your home. So for some of you, maybe this is your wife. Maybe this is your partner. Maybe this is your mother or a sister. She's a queen, so she's probably going to be more mature in most cases. So an older female figure that is a family member or lives in your home. And I feel like the challenge with her in November may be that she loses a job, because there's an irresponsibility that comes with her. It's never her fault sometimes. Yeah, I don't feel like all the time, but a lot of times, She also tends to play people against each other. Like, she'll stir up the pot, cause a bunch of problems, and then just sit back and watch everybody kind of, it's the Yoko factor. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but you can Google it. The Yoko factor. Now, that's somebody that comes in and just, causes a bunch of issues between other people and then sits back and watches as they, break apart. They ruin relationships, essentially, is what they do, these types, or can do. So, but I feel like in this instance, this person has to do with a money loss. So it could be that if this is your partner, maybe she spent money on something that, you feel like we do. We talked about this and I told you we couldn't afford that right now. She does something that causes you to lose a lot of money. Maybe she's gambling. Maybe she's the one with this addiction. And she's just, wasting money on something that is ridiculous to you, Cancer. Maybe this is somebody you're working with, and maybe you were both up for a promotion, and she's the kind that will do underhanded things like sleep with the boss to get her way. So, or to get a promotion. I mean, she's not above that. Definitely little brown nose. But it's normally the facade is usually pretty easy to see through. So, but yeah, so this could be somebody who sneaks in and does the boss a bunch of favors to take that promotion, So, I mean, there's a lot of different ways this could work. But mostly I feel like it's somebody around your home. It could be a real estate agent who, gives you false information about how much a place costs, how much rent you'll be charged. Could be a landlord who is, not upfront about what a place costs. So yeah, just make sure you double check anything regarding homes, property in November, because somebody is not being on the up and up with you, I feel here, Cancer. And somebody may cost you money. So yeah, maybe take back that, now in advance, knowing that maybe you can avoid that. Take back the checkbook. Or definitely check up on what your mate may be doing, or a female in the family, if it affects you. Check up on what may be going on with that. Make sure you know where your money is. But by the end of November, Cancer, I do feel like there will be a new beginning in a relationship. So again, going back to this, you are going to get there, whatever the challenge is, whatever the obstacle is, because it will be different for all of you in your specific situations. Again, if you would like a reading, I can take a look at your specific situation. Just draw me a line and we'll do that. But whatever this is, it does look like for most of you, you overcome that And, but I feel like it may be like you are the one that has to see things from a different perspective because the other person can't or won't. And Cancer, you are a bit more fluid because you are a water sign. You're actually a lot more fluid than some people. You're a little more open to suggestion. You're more likely to find a way to coexist peacefully than to rock the boat. So, but it looks like there is some sort of ultimatum maybe or a delay in whatever this relationship is. So again, whether this is your child, someone you're dealing with on the job, a younger person that you're working with, it looks like you'll have to take a hard line. Again, they're just reiterating that. You may have to be like, well, I'm done with you. Or you're grounded if this is your kid. You're not allowed to do anything. You're not going anywhere until this attitude changes. I'm done. I'm done with you acting this way. So yeah, you may have to take a hard line, Cancer, and it may be unusual for you to do that. But it seems like it's necessary in this case if you want to change this behavior. If you keep allowing the same things or allowing, especially younger, immature people to behave in the same way, that behavior isn't going to change. It's almost like your behavior has to change in order for their response to be different. But so yeah, it has less to do with perspective. It has more to do with you saying, I'm done. You're cutting something off. So it's like you've reached the end of your rope with someone's behavior. But it is necessary that you go through that to get to the new beginning, to get to this new way forward, Cancer. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good rooms here. Whatever the obstacle, I think you're going to be very happy with the outcome. And you're going to put a stop to whatever this negative behavior is, even if this person continues to be negative with everyone else, they're going to be different with you. Just keep reinforcing that. If you behave that way, I won't have anything to do with you. No. I'll just keep sending you to the principal's office. I'll just keep sending you to your room. If it's your mate, if you keep gambling, I want a divorce. I mean, you are going to have to take a hard line with this person, but it seems like for most of you, it's going to work. Because it's going to cause whoever this person is to see, wow, I've really hurt this person and I've pushed this person to her limits, to his or her limits. And, I'm really going to have to take a look at my behavior here and change it. So that is what I see for November, Cancer. I do hope that was helpful, and I'll see you back here in December.